Okay, what was my strategy? What was my plan? For everything that you want to do, for everything that you want to be successful, you need to have a plan. You need to be able to make a plan, think about it, what do you want to get out of it, and being able to execute that plan. What I will say that before applying for my PhD, I had a plan. I said that I'm gonna do this, but I stick to all of them. I said that, okay, this is the plan A, this is the part A, this is the part B, this is the part B. Some people make plans. They say that the plan looks very nice. They want to get, let's say, offer from Harvard. They want to offer from Cambridge. But the plan is nice. But being able to execute that plan, being able to make an action and going toward that plan, that's the tricky bit. So for my plan, I said that, okay, what does PhD require? Working in the lab. We are always in the lab. No, I'm a fellow. I'm a postdoctoral fellow. And we are always stuck in this building, working, doing experiments. I'm personally working on brain cancer. So for being able to do that, you need to have lab experience. I applied in my first year, when I was first year of my undergraduate, it was 2012. I applied to get my first summer internship. The first application was rejected. The second one was rejected. The third one was rejected. 5th, 10, 11, 15, 20, 21 professors rejected me. I didn't know why. I wasn't good at applying. I wasn't good at sending emails. I didn't know how to send emails. I didn't know. And also I was in my first year. In United Kingdom, they don't have a tendency to give a summer internship to their first year. They were saying, oh, wait for next year. But I wanted to get it from my first year. 22nd professor, the picture here on the left, which I am with this gentleman, the professor on the in the white shirt, he replied me and he said that, okay, Mohammad, you can come to the lab, you can be here and maybe work for a month. I was so excited. I was going before everyone to the lab, turning on the lights, working the lab. After everyone was finishing, I was getting out, turning off the lights, cleaning my bench and getting out. That was my first experience. So if something happens, I could have given up, Maybe I got rejected first time, second time, third time, 5 application, 10 application, 20 application. I got to the point that, okay, I said that if it requires 100 application, I'm gonna send them. Let all of them reject me, maybe one reply me. When you want to apply to something, you only need one offer. You only need one positive response. Doesn't matter that I was rejected by 21 labs, 21 professors. 22nd one accepted me, and that was my first experience. When I got my first experience, that helped me a lot, so I could get my second experience. When people see that you've done something, when people see that you've done, you can go to the next step much easily. Then I went to Cambridge, did another internship here in the picture in the middle with this Japanese gentleman, Satoshi. I did an internship with him. Then I went to another lab in London. Then I went to Oxford. In total, I did 5 different rotations. And that gave me a very good, nice basic understanding of what is the environment in the lab, how you need to behave, how you need to conduct experiments, how the experiments are failing. So that was my first part of it. Take home message, lesson from this slide. Don't get disheartened. Don't lose your hope if someone rejects you, if the second person rejects you, if the third. Keep going. You need one reply, and I got that. Because people don't know maybe how good you are. You just need an opportunity. Get the opportunity and prove yourself. Now we go for the second one. I mentioned a little bit that why experience is important, but here I want to emphasize it more. First of all, when all of the students usually have good grades, when people see that you have a nice laboratory experience or internship or going to work in a bank or going to work in a business or working in a company, in a manufacturing company, it helps you. It gives you something plus, saying that this applicant has something more, has something above other people. Because in exam time, in the studying time, in your undergraduate, everyone can work hard for exams. But going through experience, when you have a holiday, when you have a summer, and everyone can go, for example, enjoy. It didn't mean that I didn't enjoy, but I had some times that I was going working in the lab, most of it. When everyone goes and let's say they don't want to do anything, if you go in the lab, in the internship, in the bank, in the office, and you work, It shows that you are passionate about something. You are enthusiastic. And this is the most important, one of the most important factors in admission committee, you know. It shows that you can go beyond what is required, because this is something voluntarily. This is something it doesn't require from your degree. They don't give you marks on that. You just want to do lab experience. And also the third thing, it helps you really understand why you are studying your subject. I was studying biomedical sciences, but for being able to understand why this biomedical science is important, I was working on muscle tissue. I was working on cancer. I was working on neuroscience. So it helped me really, when I was coming back from the lab, going back to my lecture rooms, and when I was listening to my professors, I was saying, wow, this is important. Maybe next summer I can do it in the lab. Oh, I need to understand this very carefully. If you go, for example, also to the bank, you can work in a bank or industry or in a pharmaceutical company or in anything. You come back to your lecture rooms and you understand that why you are studying this. It's not just memorizing things. It helps you to really understand why you are studying it. Also, personal statement and in your interview, these are the things that you can talk about yourself. You need to divide the roles. You know, I will get back to it later when I tell you tips for the application. But you don't want to just say that, oh, I get the good grades, I can study hard. You need to talk about things that you experienced, the internship. Why? Because your people who write your recommendation letters, your professor, haven't been in your laboratory experience. So this is an opportunity for you to tell what you learned, why did you go, what mistakes you made. You know, I will come to it later, but I got asked many times in my interview in Harvard, they asked me, what is the biggest mistake that you made in your undergraduate studies? How you are not going to make that mistake again if you come to Harvard. These are the things, importance of going for the internship, summer experience. The second thing that I did was I got the best grades. It doesn't mean that if you have a good internship, if you have a good lab experience, you can have bad grades. You have to have both of them. So you need to be able to get the good grades and go to the laboratory experience. So it doesn't mean that if you want the balance, priority is with the good grades. Laboratory experience is something that added on top of that. So you can get the good grades, and on top of that, you can go to the lab experience, summer internship, academic experience. Then I contacted, this was very key, my third point here. I contacted some professors in my target universities. Again, lots of no reply, lots of failure, lots of rejections, but I didn't care. I was reading their research summary, I was reading their lab web page, and I was attaching my CV, attaching why I want to, and said that, oh, I want to apply to Harvard. Can you help me something? Can you please give me advice? A few very, very good professors from Princeton, her name is Liz Gavis, for example, just his name. She replied me saying that, oh, you can, if you want to come to Princeton, you need to do these things. You need the lights is going off, but I hope that you can see me. If it's too dark, I can turn on the lights. This is a very sensitive building. Here is Oxford, so it turns on. So, but let me know if you don't see me. I will go and turn on the lights again. So you need to, maybe I need to turn on the lights. Can you just give me a second? Can I stop here for a moment, for a second here, and turn on the lights and come back quickly? Sorry. Oh. Okay. So you need to contact some professors in your target universities and tell them that, okay, I want to apply. I want to come to your lab. Can you please help me? Can you give me something? They usually, even one sentence from them can be enough. One sentence. If not enough, you know, once you apply, really apply, they will remember you. That, oh, you are the same person that emailed me 1 year ago, 2 years ago, you wanted, so you are really enthusiastic. I come back to it later, how to show your enthusiasm. Oh, you really want to, it's not that just something you decided, you've been thinking about it for 2 years, 1 year. Then my fourth advice, I work with very, very good professors. So if you know someone, a very good lecturer, a very good professor, go and work with them, ask them, can I come and shadow you? Can I watch you for 1 week, what you are doing in the lab? Can I have a project with you? I work with Professor Sir John Gurdon. He got the 2012 Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine. And also with Professor Daniel St. Johnson. Later on, they wrote for me references, recommendation letters. And wherever I was applying, they were saying, oh, you have a reference from John Gurdon. He just wrote for me one paragraph, but that was enough for me to get all the offers that I wanted. So what are the mistakes? The first mistakes that you need to avoid is that not being confident in yourself, not being able, saying that, oh, am I good enough? You will come to Oxford, you will come to Harvard, you will come to Cambridge. You will see that students are not that different than what you were thinking. First of all, we knew how to make a good application and get here, Then there are so much support here, so much system here, so much professors are helpful that you will see that how studying here actually is much easier than what you were thinking. Maybe getting here is very difficult, but remaining here can be much easier. Also, not knowing about the program, for example, that you are applying, not knowing the professors, not knowing the universities, for example. You need to know, if you are applying something, you need to know about the university. I can give you, in Stanford, I was asked about, do you know the history of Stanford? In Cambridge, I was asked in my interview, oh, can you tell us which college are you interested? How many colleges are there? I said, oh, about 31 colleges. So I knew about that. You know a little bit about the background of the university and also the program that you are applying. How many years is that? What are the requirements? What are the labs that you are interested in? Also, not showing enthusiasm. There is a difference between showing enthusiasm and being polite. You need to be polite, but you also need to be confident. You need to be able to show your enthusiasm, to talk in a bit higher voice, to say that, okay, I really want this opportunity and you need to give me this opportunity. How you can show it? You can email people a year before you're applying, When you go to the committee, you can say that, oh, I know you, I emailed you 2 years ago, I wanted to come to your lab for doing a summer work. That is only enough to make the person understand, wow, you are such an enthusiastic person. Also not asking for help. Here at the DAD, we are here to help you, but also part of it from the people that you know, from the alumni of the universities, from your professors, from your tutors, not asking for you. You need to go and tell them that I want to go to this university, I want to go to Stanford, I want to go to Cambridge, I want to go to Oxford. Can you please help me? They will be able to give you advice and give you some help. So what are my tips? What are my advice if you want to make a very good scholarship package? How you can be successful? What are the paths that I came so far? And I'm happy to share it with you. Start going it early. Don't think that, okay, I have a deadline, for example, this month, and I want to make my application in a month. No, this is a long process. I personally started, some people tell me it's too early. I started 2 years before I graduate. 2 years before I finished my bachelor, I took my exams. I went to the universities. I went to the GRE. I went, what are the requirements? I went to make a list of programs that I'm interested, which universities I want to go. What are the requirements? Do I need to specifically, for example, study chemistry? For example, in Princeton, they were asking for biochemistry. So in my second year of undergraduate, I took some biochemistry modules, some biochemistry subjects. That gives you a lot of time for practicing something. If, for example, if you want to retake a test, retake the GRE, retake TOEFL, retake IELTS, and prepare for interview, this is a preparation course, so you need time to go there. And also, it helps you to focus on your exams, focus on your assignment, because your last year, for example, your final year or a few months before you finish your university and get into your PhD or master can be very hectic, can be very busy. So you need to be able to get things done early. And this is a personal bit. Why do you think I studied in King's College London and not in Oxford and Cambridge for my undergraduate? I did my PhD in Cambridge and now I'm a postdoctoral fellow in Oxford, but why not my undergraduate? Because I missed the deadline. I came from Iran and I missed the deadline for one single exam to get into Oxford and Cambridge for bachelor. That's called BMAT, Biomedical Admission Test. I missed the deadline for that. And a year after I took that test, I got very good grades and I couldn't get an offer from Cambridge for my undergraduate, but it was already 1 year that I was into my university. I had to make a choice. Shall I quit or continue and I can go for my PhD to Cambridge? And I did that. But not only knowing one deadline, made me not going to Cambridge for my undergraduate. So that's why I tell you it's important to know all these things. Also, you need to pick your choices carefully. It's not just that I'm going to UK or I'm going to America. You need to be able to understand the topic that you want to study, both for master and also for PhD. For example, a biochemistry or molecular genetics or neuroscience in one university can be totally different than a neuroscience or biochemistry program major from different universities. Don't think that because it's a biomedical science major can be the same. No, go and read what are the modules, what are the topics that they teach you, how they assess you, what are the exams, are there MCQs, are there projects. I had a student, for example, he wasn't very good in writing essays, and he was very good in MCQs, multiple choice questions that you can answer. So he was applying for universities that up to the second year of his bachelor studies, they were asking for multiple choice question and not essays. And he's very successful, and now he's doing his master at Yale. So these are important things. And also knowing about the professors. Go and read each universities. Read about their research, publications. What are their research interests? Are they more taking students? Something other important, where do people go from? Where do people who graduate go? I will give you some funny statistics. From the PhD of Harvard universities, most people go to finance. 75% of the PhD alumni from Harvard, they leave academia. They go to finance, they go to banking, they go to industry. Why? Because good people come and offer them from these companies, from consulting, big consulting companies come and offer them a lot of money, so that's why they leave. So in that way, you need to understand that, okay, am I going to Harvard or to Princeton or to some other universities? Also, how much support you can get? Is this just 10 students in a big department, or there are 50 students? If there are more students, it means that you can get more support. Same thing, what are the ratio of students to staff? Are there 1 student for all 10 professors? Or no, there are 5 students for 2 professors. It shows that they are interested in teaching. There are some departments that they are not interested in teaching, they are more interested in research. So if you go to those departments, it can be very tricky, very difficult, because they will see you, they don't respect you, they don't value your work. Also, most important thing, can the students in their master, in their PhD, publish good articles in very good journals? You can go to the students, see alumni, and for example, look at the publication record to see that if they've done something. Make a good application package. People usually ask me, my students, which one is the most important? Is this the grades? Is it GRE important? Is it TOEFL or IELTS? Is it personal statement or recommendation letter? Everything is important. There is no something that, oh, this is not important if I have. No, every single thing is very important. Because if you want to get to top universities, you are competing with all people all around the world. There are people from China, from Russia, from America, from Europe. So you need to have a good package. Don't think that having low grades and maybe good recommendation, everything can be good. Everything should be good if you want to have a very nice package. And these can be important because when admission committee wants to come and they have a sheet, they usually have a sheet so they can score each applicant, seeing that, oh, this applicant, you don't want to get a low score in, for example, grades, while the other applicants have a high grades than you. You don't want to score low for TOEFL or IELTS or personal statement. You want to make everything perfect to your best. And also, this is the most important advice I learned from being in Cambridge and Oxford and going to interviews. You know, when I go there, everyone has good grades. It's not something that, oh, I have good grades as I'm not enough. No. What makes difference is that what do you do after you have good grades? I went, for example, when I was in my interview in Harvard, I saw a lady, she volunteered for 2 years in Nigeria helping for vaccination. And she was coming. And so she had a lot of experience volunteering with World Health Organization, WHO, with all of these things. So it helped them. Sport can be very important. If you are doing, even in your high school or even your undergraduate, if you've done some major, that can be very helpful. If, for example, you are playing some music or you have some art or you've done theater, This is again showing yourself, because people don't know, you know, when you apply from Iran or from China or from Russia to American universities, they don't know about you. It's how much you are telling them about yourself. So this can help you in your personal statement, in your interview, to talk about these things. And also learning new languages. I met a gentleman when I was applying for Cambridge. He knew 7 languages. And he was applying for a program about psychology and neuroscience of languages. So he couldn't get an offer. Why? Because he could speak different languages. Even if you are like me, I just speak 2 different languages, like English, Persian, and Arabic. You can tell that, oh, I just know English. So they will appreciate that you know how much you know. Also participating in competition. This can be very important. This can again show that you are a person able to compete. You want to get your best. So just saying that, even if a small competition, like a regional, in a district competition, that can be helpful. Traveling is something else. If you've traveled purposefully, for example, for 3 months, 1 week, 2 months, somewhere in China, out of China, if, for example, you travel to somewhere else, tell that what you learn in your travel. It shows that you are an open-minded person. You can see working with different people from different parts of the world. For example, here at the University of Oxford, behind my back here, there are people from 184 countries. In my group, there is only 2 people from England. They are all of them international. There are 15 people, 2 of them are from England. In my PhD, there was only 1 person from England. So this thing can help you. For example, you say that I'm open to new suggestions. This can show you that you are a round person. They don't only want that you should be a good student. Otherwise, they would give an offer to a computer or to a machine learning algorithm to come and study. They want a round personality. You need to have different abilities beyond having good grades. So how to keep passionate? Remember that if you want to apply, for example, either a master program is 1 year or 2 years, PhD is at least 3-4 years. In America, can be 5, 6, 7 years. How do you do that? How do you able? It's not a race. It's not that you work hard for 1 night, you work hard for 1 week, you work hard for 1 month. You need to be able to work hard for 3-4 years. So how to be able to do that? My experience was that, first of all, you need to being able to physically keep fit. If you are working in the laboratory, or if you are working in the library, or if you are working in industry, you need to be able to physically being able to fit. I do Taekwondo. I've been working for Taekwondo for 10, 12 years now. So I like martial arts. It helps me to be disciplined. And whatever I have, at least I exercise 2-3 sessions per week. It helps me a lot. When I come here, for example, I sit down sometimes, do analysis for 10 hours, 12 hours. I go to the microscopy room for 8 hours. That helps me to be able to keep going. Also, you need to be able to keep mentally healthy. Some people meditate, some people make a different regimen for themselves, some people go to different yoga classes. So you need to be able to have both physical and mental balance. You need to be able to also keep yourself positive always, you know. For example, I failed 21 times, I told you, applying for my first summer internship. You need to be able to say that, oh, maybe they don't understand who I am. Maybe they don't know. I will do even more. I will do even more. So that's keeping the positive self-talk. That gives you next lesson that you see every challenge as an opportunity, you know. It's funny enough, but you know, after all those people failed me, I met some of them later on conferences. And I told them that, oh, you failed me once. I couldn't come to your lab. And they became my good friends. Then also it's important to learn how to do time management skills. You need to be able to have a schedule. I have a schedule for myself. I know what I'm gonna do next week on Tuesday, for example. I know what I'm gonna do on this weekend. I know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. It's not that I wake up and I say at 9 a.m. I know what I'm gonna do during that day, during that week, during that month. Then I go and come back and look at my schedule later, seeing that, oh, how much of this I really managed to achieve? Is it 70%, 80%? Then I go and make another schedule. And it's important to make a priority, prioritize important stuff first. If you have exam, you need to take that exam first. If you have an assignment, You need to do that assignment. Don't say that I can do it tomorrow, next month, next week. No, do things first. And don't worry if you don't see the immediate results. This is a slide of all my achievements. I can tell you, I got the best poster prize in a very prestigious European conference in Italy. There were 200 posters. I got the best microscopy imaging competitions from the Royal Society of Microscopy, very prestigious. I gave the best student thesis, PhD thesis presentation, the best PhD presentation in my college in Cambridge. This is the president of our college, Professor Jane Clark. I got another imaging competition prize from the British Society for Cell Biology. I managed to publish a very nice snapshot in a journal of Cell, and I became elected as a member of Iranian National Elite Foundation running by President. But why I put you all these things? All of these things happened to me in 3 months. I did my PhD 3.5 years, but this was the 3 months end of my PhD. All of these things happened. All of these things were happening suddenly. For three years, I wasn't seeing anything. I couldn't see the immediate results, but I just kept going, you know, and suddenly the best poster prize, the best thesis prize, the best imaging prize. Then my offer came in from Oxford, my fellowship offer, but for 3 years, nothing was happening. So don't think that if something is not happening, you work hard for 6 months, for 1 year, for 1.5 years, nothing is happening. Suddenly everything, you become better, things become easier for you, and you can get what you want. And in the end, I'm sure someone at your position, you are in a very important stage of your life, very important stage of your career. You can decide now what you want to do. You have a lot of options. As you go through life, your options might be a bit fewer and fewer because you specialize in things. For example, now if you decide to go to this university, other university, to this major or other, you have more options, and you are in a very good part of your career that you can build up your career. And I'm sure there are many, many happy days ahead of you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Bowen. I got to the end of my presentation here.